Hello everyone, Rare Model Reviews here. And it's time that we see what is inside these bad boys. So, as per standard, I'm going to go for the little one first, which you guys may or may not be excited for. Although with it being a box and a box, I'm literally telling you what's in it. I think the suspense has already been cut with a knife. So, I'm going to go ahead and open this bad boy up and see what exactly Mecha Frieza here has in store for us. So, this is actually a pretty small box here. Of course, Mecha Frieza is not very large. Let me go ahead and get rid of this. And I've got to say, when I've seen the preview images of this thing, I knew I just had to have this thing. So, it looks very great here. Anime accurate as always for these figure arts. But when you guys see this thing cracked open, that's when your jaw will drop. Just like a little bit of a spoiler here. This thing is going to have a very crazy effect part here that I am very eager to show off to you guys in the review. So I'll see if I can give you guys a bit of a tease on what it is in just a second here. So as per standard with these figure arts unboxings, I do not like to actually open this thing up and show you guys the contents, as that kind of takes away a bit of what the review is. So I will instead show you guys the instructions that are on the sides of the box here. So this of course is explaining to you how to interchange the heads. And then here we have on the sides, of course, the interchangeable fingers. And for those of you who do not know, this thing has a crazy body part accessory here, which I actually was curious about how they would show off here, which displays Frieza, if you cannot tell, being cut in half. So you guys aren't going to be able to see how it looks like just yet. Give it a bit for me to put a review out, and again, you will see what this thing looks like in action. And of course, I will be bringing out Trunks for the review, so we could really get you guys a good idea on how this thing will look. So I hope this thing comes with a display base for that. It might not, but we'll see. The way this thing just showed itself off, it looks like you probably would need that display base to be able to display it properly, and it'd be a little annoying if they just gave you the pieces to, you know, have them cut in half and then made you go get your own base to put it on. But I also want to point out this thing was $85, so if this is not a display base here, that's going to be some major points off this thing in the review. So, getting on down to our last item here. I say kit. The other one was a figure, so I can't really quite say kit, huh? So, first and foremost, if this wasn't obvious, both of these were P-Bandai, of course. So, we have here the Gundam Max. Now, this is one that I was super excited for when I seen it came out. Of course, this is the second or third print I managed to get, as this thing sold out like immediately when it first came out, which is what I expected to happen because the same thing happened with the Gundam Rules here. But I'm loving the fact that some of these boxes aren't just the typical monochromatic boxes. They actually have some parts manifest and stuff on the back here. So as you can see, this thing is loaded. And the Gundam Master is actually my favorite of the G Gundam Shuffle Alliance suits or fighters. So I was super excited when this thing came out, and I really hope that the Dragon Gundam is next, because that was actually my favorite when I was a kid. But when I watched this thing over years later as a teen, I'm like sitting here smacking myself in the head. I'm like, why did I not pay any attention to the Maxter when the show first came out at all? I remember the Bolt Gundam, but I couldn't quite say he was my favorite. I just remember him, man. Shoot, I can't even say I remember the roles. It was literally just the Shining, Burning, and then the Dragon and Bolt. I remember everything else. Well, of course, the Noble Gundam, but they're not part of Shuffle Alliance. But I'm rambling on, so let's go ahead and yeah. So getting on into, we have the first plate of runners here. I'm gonna assume this one with the shield here is the A plate. And we also have some greens, blues, yellows here. Some dark mattish black here on the back here. Oh, it's also some stickers in the back of that runner there as well, tucked in there. Have some more blacks, as well as some clear reds for the Action Base 5 that comes included. And a very small plate of white runners here. Guess I kind of underestimated how little white is on this actual fighter here. We have here the special pink effect part for the special attack the Maxter does. Have some more red here, that's mostly for the boxing gloves, I imagine, and blues on the back of that. Second plate of red runners, another white runner, identical to the last one we seen here. We have the last of the action-based 5 runners here. It's nice clear red. I just love the fact that all these mobile fighters come with an action base for it. Always nice to have more of those in your collection. And lastly, we of course have the menu here. Plain basic as always. So let's go ahead and look at it. So getting on into the menu here, of course, we have the typical P-Bandai manuals here, which very bare bones. Nothing special in them at all. You're not going to see anything explaining much of anything about the kit here itself, or rather fighter. So it at least builds like a typical high grade here. Body first, good old poly cap, joints here, which usually serve their purpose pretty well. And thankfully with a lot of these modern high grades, they build very quickly, efficiently, and easily. And they provide a lot of technology that you would have seen in earlier master grades, which in my opinion is just very impressive, as the high grades I built in my day didn't have much of an inner frame at all, were very loose, fragile, and didn't last very long. So I'm glad that Bandai has really stepped up the high grades so much to the point that, again, there's barely even a difference between the high grades and the real grades these days. They both pose just as well. And honestly, most of the real grades you get, it's just really for the real great look of them looking like they were the real thing. But maybe they'll start to step up their real grade game to make them feel more like a mini master grade like they originally did when the line was first introduced there. So this thing has a ton of accessories with it, which is what I love about these P-Bandai G Gundam releases so far. I'm still scratching my head as to why they don't just make these things a real release. Judging by how fast they always sell out in the stores online, I feel like they've proven themselves enough for them to start giving out real retail releases, not these online releases. But if it makes sense to Bandai, I mean, I say keep doing what you're doing. Who knows? Maybe they're only selling out in the U.S. market like hotcakes, but they're not in the Japanese market. Hence why they're P-Bandai releases. But regardless, another day, another unboxing complete. Now, I can already tell you guys, I'm building this thing immediately. As soon as this review is over, I'm going to go break this guy open and build it straight away. I actually just finished doing the high-grade gun cannon, but I'm going to sandbag that thing for a little bit. As I said, April was going to be the month of the Giants, so I'm going to stay true to what I said there. April is halfway over it. There's still about 2 or 3 kits I can squeeze out in that time, so I'm going to do just that. But as soon as May hits, I'm going to review the gun cannon, this, and then Frieza, of course. So you guys know my lineup here, and I plan on sticking to it. So thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have anything that you'd like to ask me in the comments or what have you, please feel free to do so. I am friendly, and I will make sure everything in the comments stays so you do not have to worry about anyone getting under your skin. That comment will be gone the second it even drops if I do not like what it says. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and drop it a like. And consider subscribing. It's basically the equivalent of just following me and keeping up my channel, and there are no strings attached to it. So if you do not want to miss out any of these unboxings, videos, reviews, or just about anything I'm going to be posting on my channel, you might want to consider doing so. And as always, see you in the next video.